Open the door! Get out the car!
Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated.
Yo, what? Guess what? I'm a veteran too. I learned to obey. Get out of the car!
What's going on?
What's going on is you're fixing to ride the lightning, son. Get out of the car now! Get out!
Get out the car!
Get out now!
I have not committed any crime.
December 5th, 2020, Lieutenant Caron Nazario is driving home from work on Route 460 in Windsor, Virginia. He is a second lieutenant in the United States Army Medical Corps. He is wearing his uniform. His car is a brand new Chevrolet Tahoe, which means his permanent license plate has not arrived yet. He has a temporary paper tag displayed in his rear window, exactly where Virginia law requires it to be. Two officers from the Windsor Police Department pull him over, claiming they cannot see a license plate. What happens next is recorded on two separate body cameras worn by both officers. Both cameras are running the entire time. And what they capture is one of the most clearly documented civil rights violations I have ever reviewed in my career. Within 5 minutes of that traffic stop beginning, Lieutenant Nazario will be pepper sprayed with his hands raised outside his car window, physically dragged from the vehicle and held face down on the ground. He will never be charged with any crime. He had done nothing wrong. What you are about to watch is what American law enforcement looks like when it thinks nobody is watching. Except this time, the officers were wearing the cameras themselves.
You're being stopped for a traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest for, you're being detained, okay? You're being detained for obstruction of justice.
Traffic violation, I do not have to get out the vehicle. You haven't even told me why I'm being stopped.
Really? Get out of the car now. Get out of the car.
Get your hands off me.
Get out of the car.
Get your hands off me.
You know what?
Get your hands off me.
It's not a problem. Back up, Daniel.
I didn't do anything.
Sir!
Get out of the car now.
Sir! Hey! Sir!
Get out of the car now.
Sir! Look!
I'm trying to talk
Get out.
to you.
Okay.
I'm trying to
I'm gonna talk to
Get
you.
out.
Just get out of my car.
Can you please
Get out.
relax? Can
Get
you
out.
please relax?
Get out of the car right now.
Let me walk you through exactly what happened moment by moment. When the officers activated their lights behind Lieutenant Nazario, he did not immediately stop. He slowed down, turned on his hazard lights, and drove approximately 2 minutes until he reached a well-lit Exxon gas station. I want every person watching to understand something. You have the right to drive to a safe, well-lit location before stopping. Courts have consistently upheld this. Briefly continuing to a safe area does not constitute fleeing, and it does not give officers justification to escalate. When Nazario stopped at the gas station, both officers immediately drew their firearms and aimed them through his car window. Officer Gutierrez commanded him to get out of the vehicle. Nazario kept his hands raised and visible outside the window. He asked what was going on. He said he was nervous. He said he was afraid to get out. Officer Gutierrez responded, "You are fixing to ride the lightning, son." That phrase means you are about to be tased. Nazario replied that he was complying, that he had his hands up, that he was scared. Officer Gutierrez then pepper sprayed him directly in the face through the window. Both officers physically dragged him out of the vehicle and put him on the ground. All of it is on camera.
Now.
This is not how you treat a vet. I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you're gonna treat me. I didn't do anything. Whoa, hold on. What's going? Hold on.
AO4 OC just deployed. Get out of the car. Get out of the car now.
That's up. That's
Get out of the car now.
Sir, just get out the car!
I'm trying to breathe.
Get out of the car now.
That's up. That's really
Here is the legal problem at the foundation of this entire encounter. The Fourth Amendment requires that any traffic stop be supported by reasonable, articulable suspicion that a law has been violated. The officers stated they stopped Nazario because they could not see a license plate. But Virginia law explicitly permits temporary paper tags and requires them to be displayed in the rear window exactly where Nazario had his. Bodycam footage clearly shows the tag visible in the window as the officers approach the car. That means the stated justification for the stop was either a mistake or it was manufactured, and that distinction matters enormously under the law. The Supreme Court has been clear: if the stop itself is unconstitutional Everything that flows from it is what courts call fruit of the poisonous tree. It cannot be used against you. Every command the officers gave, every use of force they applied, every statement made during that stop, all of it is legally poison if the initial stop had no valid basis. And then you layer on top of that the fact that both officers drew their weapons immediately upon approaching a compliant driver with his hands visible. Under Terry versus Ohio, officers can only use force proportional to the threat presented. A man in army uniform at a gas station with his hands raised is not a threat. The stop was legally defective from the moment those lights came on.
Hands are out.
Don't reach in there, Daniel. Don't reach in there.
My hands are out. Please. Please, look. This is really messed up. My dog is in the back.
Hey,
my dog is choking right
Get
now.
out of the car. Take your seatbelt off. What are you, a specialist, corporal? What are you?
I'm a lieutenant.
Lieutenant, get out of the car. Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car. You made this way more difficult than it had to be. If you just comply. Get out of the car.
I'm reaching for my seatbelt.
Fine. Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car. Straight on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Can you please talk to
Get
me
on the
about
ground
what's going
now.
on?
Get on the ground or you're getting sprayed again. Get on the ground.
Can you please talk to
I want to be precise about what the law requires here because what happened at that gas station was not a close call. The controlling Supreme Court case on police use of force is Graham versus Connor, decided in 1989. Under Graham, the use of force must be objectively reasonable given the totality of the circumstances. Courts evaluate three factors: the severity of the crime at issue, whether the person poses an immediate threat to the safety of officers or others, and whether the person is actively resisting arrest or attempting to evade detention. Apply those three factors to Lieutenant Nazario's situation. The crime at issue was a license plate infraction, a minor civil matter, not even a misdemeanor in most jurisdictions. The immediate threat, none. He was seated in his vehicle with both hands raised and visible outside the window. Active resistance, none. He was verbally asserting fear and stating he was complying. Under Graham, using pepper spray on a person in that situation is not a judgment call. It is not a gray area. It is constitutionally unreasonable force applied to a person who presented no threat and was not resisting. It does not matter that the officers felt uncertain. Courts do not grade officers on their emotional state. They grade them on whether their actions were objectively reasonable. Pepper spraying Lieutenant Caron Nazario does not pass that test.
me about what's
Get on the
going
ground.
on?
Get on the ground now.
Can you please talk to me
Get on
about
the
what's
ground.
going
Get on the ground.
Can you please talk to me about what's
Yes, sir.
going on?
You're not.
Can you please talk to me about what's going on? Why am I being treated like this? Why?
You're not cooperating. Get on the ground.
Why am I being treated like this? This is really messed up. This is f***ed up. This is f***ed up.
I agree. All you had to do was listen.
After Lieutenant Nazario was put face down on the ground, after the encounter ended, Officer Gutierrez walked him to the side and made him an offer. He said essentially, if you agree not to make this a big deal, not to file a complaint, I will let you go with no charges. Then he said something that is devastating in a civil rights case. He told Lieutenant Nazario, I do not want you here in this town. 4 words. On his own body camera, and those 4 words changed the entire legal character of this case. That statement is evidence of selective enforcement based on race. Under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, law enforcement cannot enforce the law differently based on a person's race. And when an officer tells a man he does not want him in a particular town in the context of a stop that had no valid legal basis, that is exactly what a jury is allowed to infer. That statement is also evidence of First Amendment retaliation. Gutierrez was offering Nazario a deal. Stay quiet and you walk free. That is a threat against protected activity. That is an officer using his authority to suppress someone's ability to assert their rights and seek redress. Under 42 U.S.C. Section 1983, Officers who deprive citizens of constitutional rights under color of law are personally liable. That one sentence on that body cam made Officer Gutierrez personally liable. Lieutenant Nazario filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against both officers and the town of Windsor. The lawsuit alleged Fourth Amendment violations for the unlawful stop, the unlawful detention, and the excessive force. It alleged First Amendment retaliation, and it alleged race-based selective enforcement under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. Officer Joe Gutierrez was fired from the Windsor Police Department. Officer Daniel Crocker resigned. The town initially attempted to invoke qualified immunity, the legal doctrine that protects officers from personal civil liability unless they violated a clearly established constitutional right. But qualified immunity has limits. Courts have held repeatedly that using excessive force against a person who is not resisting and poses no threat violates clearly established law. No reasonable officer could believe otherwise. The town of Windsor settled Lieutenant Nazario's lawsuit for nearly $3 million. That money comes from Windsor taxpayers. No criminal charges were filed against either officer. The Windsor Police Department, a department of fewer than 10 officers in a town of fewer than 3,000 people, now has this case in its permanent record. The settlement does not give Nazario back the moment he sat with pepper spray burning his eyes face down on a gas station parking lot in the uniform of his country, but it does confirm officially and legally who was wrong. 3 things I want every person watching to know before they drive home tonight. First, if you are pulled over at night, you have the right to drive to a safe, well-lit location before stopping. Turn your hazard lights on immediately so the officer knows you are not fleeing. Drive slowly to the nearest gas station or lit public area. Courts have upheld this right. Do not let an officer tell you otherwise. Second, keep your hands visible at all times. On the steering wheel before you stop, raised out the window if commanded. Do not reach for anything without announcing it first. Your hands being visible is the single most powerful thing you can do to reduce escalation risk. None of this guarantees safety. Lieutenant Nazario did all of it correctly and still got pepper sprayed. But visibility reduces the officer's ability to claim they felt threatened. Third, document everything you legally can. If you have a passenger, have them record. Say clearly out loud on the recording, I do not consent to this search. I do not consent to this stop being extended. Those words build the record your attorney needs. Lieutenant Caron Nazario did everything right that night. He drove to a safe location. He kept his hands raised. He stated he was complying. He was still dragged out of his car in his army uniform, which is exactly why you need to know your rights before you need them. Subscribe for a new case every week. Drop a comment telling me which case I should break down next.